can we meet you?
Okay, my name is Oluwatimi'S.
And you?
Tiwatayo Abiodun.
Okay, so what brought you to Dominica?
To Dominica, well, I came to study medicine in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yes, I as well came to study medicine in Los Angeles in Dominica.
So on the day of the hurricane, how was the day going like before the hurricane started?
I initially thought nothing was going to happen. In fact, I think a night before, I was still telling someone it's just a normal rain, little wind, everything was fine. And so it was just like a normal day for me. It was in the morning when Brojide sent a message about water. They actually said water. Before that time, I was just thinking it was normal, so I just took it casual.
Okay. And you, Mr. Silas?
Yeah, in fact, because of the prior alert we got for the Hurricane Irma, and we prepared ourselves, and nothing serious happened. So I already assumed that this one also, will not be very, very serious. Though when the rain was getting consistent, throughout that day, we were storing water and storing water. At the point, the water stopped flowing. Then there was this sensing that it's like, this is serious. Later the light went off. But then we never expected the worst,
So at what point did you think that something serious was already happening?
Okay, for me, I think I felt it was getting very serious when it was coming to 7 p.m. and the rain was increasing tempo a little bit and very consistent. It was now dark, no light, no water. Then the rain was still falling. So I felt that meant like we're in for it today.
And
I think mine was maybe around to 3 or to 4, because there was this. Of course, rain was falling in that period. Rain was already falling then. There was this noise of maybe hell that we heard, that everyone in the street came out to look what was going on. Nothing had happened then, so just this consistent rain. So that was then I felt maybe something had started happening, but mine was then everything was fine.
what were your thoughts during this period? Like, what were you feeling during that time?
When it started?
Yes.
Wow. I cannot really say exactly what was going through my mind. The only thing I can remember was there was a time I said to myself, okay, start preparing yourself. And I really started checking my heart, even though I was praying, but right within me, I was actually checking my heart and checking if everything was going to be fine, because I was in a very bad situation actually.
So what were your feelings during that time when you saw that it was getting serious? What were your feelings?
My feeling, actually, I really can't remember particularly how I felt, but I would just say I was a little bit calm, but then trying to salvage few things I could. When it really got serious for me was when the coconut tree behind my window fell against my window and part of the window was destroyed and water was now coming in, profusely into my room. Then I felt this thing is getting very, very serious. Flood was already, accumulating in my room, and I knew that. My feeling then was, okay, whatever is the case, I know that nothing can happen to me, But there was a point where my housemate quickly went to a neighbor's place to come back. They couldn't come back. My very roommate left for work. So at that point, 7 past 7, I was the only one at home.
So can you just share your experience with us during the hurricane time when everything was happening? Can you share your experience?
Okay, I was shuttling between my room and the room of my housemate, because thanks to God, he did not lock his room. The very first room, that seemed to be the highest in level. My room was already getting, the water level was already getting elevated. I was going to that room, trying to empty some of my important stuff into his room. At a point, my roof was already leaking. Later, the passage was leaking. Before my very eyes, in the parlor, part of the glass window, they were already being broken. Some objects were just flying, and it was breaking before my very eyes. So, all of those periods, I was just like, God, have mercy. That whatever it is, you need to be in control. Now, all those time, the noise was going very, very consistent. It now came to a point, let's say around 9 to 10, it was dawning on me that these people will not be able to come back home. I'm going to be the only one at home. Then the water was already increasing in the whole house. I now went to the room of my housemate, the first room, which seemed to be the highest in level. At that point, I saw water coming in already from the various entrance and from the window as well. I stood up on the bed, and whatever happens, I will not allow water to drown me. At least I was not going to the bed level. I was there, I was already eyeing the wardrobe that the next higher level is to stay on top of that wardrobe. Then I was praying and prophesying and speaking to the wind and remembering all the promises of God. And we did something on Davidic covenant, that period in church. So I was already claiming that God, Davidic covenant, Abrahamic covenant, even covenant I didn't hear in the Bible, maybe Israeli covenant. I was just mentioning the covenants I could imagine. Then, at a point, I put a call through to one of my brothers. I called Bro Stephen. Bro Stephen, your brother is here and he's the only one that will be praying for him. Then I remember I sent messages to, I think, Mommy Abiodu, and I think Pastor as well. That's I'm the only one that will please be praying for me. And then at the point Dr. Esther called, she was like, oh, Dr. Yusuf has been trying to call, how are you? And everything. I explained to them, and they were just so helpful.
So, did you feel comforted, trusting in God, depending on the prayers of your brothers and sisters in the Lord? Were you comforted?
Of course I did. I felt really, really comforted. And there was this one thing I just knew for some reasons, that people of purpose don't die just like that. So I couldn't imagine myself, even if all remains is just me on top of that wardrobe at the end of the day, but that I would die to like that. Something in this place. I cannot just go like that. So I knew, or you came Maria would not carry me away.
Thank God. Mr. Timi, please would you share your experience of your marriage?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was all a joke. I remember I called who stayed in my house, and I told them, okay, I went to the room and I noticed that the roof behind my house was gone. And I was just laughing, sincerely. I was just like, I called them, come and see the roof. Roof was very going on. I didn't know that same thing was going to happen to me. And it started with water trying to force it. The wind was so strong and powerful. So it was trying to break the main entrance door. It was forcefully pushing the door, and water was gushing, coming in and all that stuff. So we're trying to mop the floor and keep the house okay. Then it got to a level where like, this thing not pass our hand. We just left it alone that way. Thank God we left that place. Just few minutes or seconds after we left. Next thing, the first glass broke. Pram. What happened? Second. Pram. Third. Pram. All the glasses they just went through. Then the wind was coming down, so the roof was getting big. Then the kitchen glasses just started breaking. Before we know what's up, the dining that we thought was the safest, water started leaking. Okay. So we also hear, before that happened, we could hear the flapping sound of our roof. That is, one side was down, the other side was trying to remove. It was already removed, so it was trying to stand, but it couldn't. So next thing, water started coming down and where do we run to? Every room, water was everywhere. Got to my room, so like water was not there, but there was water there. We went to the cupboard, eat there, we were praying. Afterwards, few minutes after, water just started coming in. So like that one was going to fall to the right, guys, let's run out of this place. And we had to stay in the passage, that's the entrance of my room and the entrance of one of the toilets. It was this very small corridor there. The students were thinking of what to do, how do we get this done? And I think there was just this little cupboard somewhere that you keep stuff, like maybe the little things you use for laundry. Then we just said, oh, let's see if we can remove the stick there, and we removed the stick. And okay, let's stay there. And we stayed inside something that was like a cupboard. And we're staying there and we're praying God, please don't let this thing. Even as we're staying there, all the roof was gone actually. And sincerely, that's the testimony. Because the roof was actually gone, but I cannot still explain how come water did not go through the place. I still cannot explain it. I know we have pictures of it. Because every roof was gone, but water was not falling through that. I cannot explain it. Really, I can't. I don't have any explanation. I've never seen a miracle like that before. The second miracle was my international passport. Normally I used to keep in my traveling box, but thank God I didn't keep it because actually my traveling box, everything was wet. I kept it in one of the this thing cupboard there, and the first cupboard, the last one under it was extremely wet. Second one was wet. Third one was wet. The first one, surrounding it was very wet. My passport was just in the middle. So just the edge of my passport that was wet. And when I saw it, I just could not have any choice than to say there's a miracle. Yeah, my system actually was gone, so just directly under open heavens. But I really thank God for the miracle. But the biggest miracle I've ever seen in my life was that one with the roof. If the roof was gone, but I can still not explain how water did not touch us. And I just see God as a miracle. But really, I saw a lot I learned a lot. I was a bit nervous during the period. But after a period of prayers, I told them as well. Because actually I felt comfort and I felt peace. And I told them actually everything will be fine. But let's pray for something and even in worse situations. Because I just felt everything will be fine. And I'm really happy that God showed himself as well.
So did you sleep at any point in time during?
I think I eventually had to sleep.
At what time?
Maybe like after 2. I don't know, it's only my household that can say exactly the time. But I know we stood for maybe more than 3 to 4 hours. But I'm not sure of the time.
So around when did you go out to see what happened?
Around 5 or 6 in the morning. We had to look for in our house. Then went out. Oh no, we tried to go out actually when the thing was flying, things were flying. That was around 2. But things were just so flying. I was like, if we step outside, these things will cut our neck and someone can eventually die. Let's just stay here and just chill. But in the morning when we went around that 5 or 6, it was very bad.
So how would you describe it?
I don't have a good word to use, but I know it was very bad. Like PMH, all the streets was just log of wood on the floor, and he came to our house and went around to check the brethren, and we're going all through goodwill. You could just be, I don't even know the right words to use, but goodwill was just not goodwill.
So what were your feelings during that time when you were seeing the videos?
I was just surprised, number one, because I thought something bad was going to happen. I was really thinking I was going to be in, or somebody died down there, somebody died, but I was surprised nobody died, at least around the Kuku area that we stayed. There was no report of death, so I was very surprised at how God would show himself as God to people. That's number one. Number two, I also learned how all these things that were looking beautiful can become ugly in just a few hours. Because I went out that Monday and I looked around, and the next morning, Tuesday, everything was gone. It was just amazing.
And when Brother Silas, when you went out, how would you describe the view?
It was horrible because imagine the previous day you saw these beautiful structures, you saw the very clear road, and just after the whole devastation, after the whole hurricane, you are seeing very great devastation, buildings. In my street, I can't remember any building that was not affected. Some completely gone, and some others partly gone, but at least roof affected. So I see that it was really bad.
So what were your feelings when you were passing through the streets and seeing these buildings? What were your feelings?
Yeah, I felt really, really bad.
Cool. As you were passing along the streets, what thoughts, what feelings was going through your mind during that time?
Yeah, the sight was very horrible, and my thoughts at that point in time was, this is great for Dominica, because I remember that I think it was the Prime Minister that said the tropical storm in 2015 to Dominica about 20 years backward. So looking at this, and I remember there are some roads going to Portsmouth, there are some roads they are still constructing that they've not recovered, that was devastated by virtue of that storm. So this is Hurricane, Maria at category 5. And I saw the mass destruction. I knew that to take some time. This shook Dominica to its foundation. So I felt so bad for them, because I'm not a Dominican. I came there to study and I'm going to go out at some point, but where did they go to? So it was really, really bad.
So how would you describe the period after the hurricane?
The period after the hurricane, my fear is that if I begin to talk now, even the camera person might get tired because it's something that I can write books on.
Well, I'm sure you can describe it briefly.
Okay, it was a time of learning, a time of sober reflection, a time of unity amidst the brethren. I didn't know some people as much, as I got to know them during that period. We had to live a communal life, and I just realized that there's nothing really in this world particularly that one can hold on. It equalized everybody, and sisters, brothers, and it was a wonderful experience. I mean, the time of staying together was a wonderful experience of blending, amidst the brethren.
So how did you cope without electricity, without light, without transportation, like buses? How did you cope with all that, without all that?
I have a feeling that the human nature is already built to adjust and adapt to adverse circumstances. And I think, was it not Lamarck that mentioned the Lamarck's theory, that there's just this way, you kind to adapt to whatever, especially when it comes to survival of the fittest, when you have limited resources. Naturally, those attributes you never knew you had. For example, there was a way we manage water. I never imagined, there were these sisters that they were so particular about Bro Silas, and they will measure the water, and I coped. Even though psychologically I think I felt thirstier, but we coped. We're home and we cooked together. It was just, I coped. Right. Sorry, I forgot to mention when you asked about that night itself, the experience. I remember that after a while of praying, I had to do some reflection of my walk with God, because even though I was assured in a way that I wouldn't die, but I had to think about it. That what if, the worst even happens? Then I had to renew my work with God. Then the prayers I was praying, that they will even, God will attend to those prayers. I have to work on that day. And that's when I late again. I prayed for a while for myself. And at the point I remember that I said as one intercessor, all these souls, all these souls that your prayer book members, all the brethren in church, and I changed my prayer point. Okay, God, all of our people, wherever they have, begin to, and it wasn't a film shoot, it wasn't a documentary, it was, I saw the beauty of being a Christian and the hope we have, as Christians.
Thank you very much. Brother, please, will you share your experience after the hurricane?
I think sometimes in life, things happen for us to know things, for us to get to know. Because if that didn't happen, there's some people I will never get to know as much as I know them. There was just this barrier thing that was there before, but the hurricane kind of removed the barrier. And someone was telling me, I think we're going to come to your house. So I own house. So I had to stay at some people's place, and it was actually one of the best period of my life. Because I know some of them before, we actually were close. There was one particular person in the house that were not close. So getting to stay there, meaning to see the person another way, and actually gave me an interpretation of others that I may see in a way, because of the way they always show themselves. It wasn't actually maybe like that. They actually have a better, much more lighter side to it.
So how did you cope without the water, without the light? How were you able to feed, move around? How was the experience?
I think God always used the way of preparing us for future instance. I did feed in Nigeria, and it was in a village. So we had instances where the water corporation did not, so hard, all the stuff, so we had to survive. But here, the house I was staying, actually, the owner of the house has tanks, two big tanks that and the backup plan in case anything happens. In case I have to stay there for days, months. That was where I was thinking, okay, in case people say it's not water, I'll just take them there, sleep them there, pick your own bucket and walk in the night. Because people get to just that way, because people are actually desperate for water then. So water wasn't really our problem. And when we stayed in Bangladesh, there was still very caring, so it was up in there to get water. So water wasn't much of a problem. Light, well, you're Nigerian.
Okay, so I'll rephrase the question another way. So how would you describe what you saw, how you saw people go through that period after the hurricane? How was Dominica like after the period of the hurricane?
Well, Dominica was people. I saw different parts of. Well, okay, I will answer this in two ways. First, there were some people that actually I learned reality of life. As much as it is true that you need to work with it, there are times that you have to learn to stand on yourself by yourself. Because people trying to survive who actually messed up, who are using messed up. They're using hurricane as history, as example of hurricanes, people in Haiti also joining natives in looting and all those stuff. The natives themselves were looted just very wrong. Some can be understanding, but yet it is still wrong. Because afterwards they will survive. But I think all through that period I learned a real understanding of human nature. People are willing to do whatever they have to do to survive. So that's what I learned.
So in the whole hurricane, so when were you evacuated from the island?
I think it was on a Sunday.
So did you see any positivity in the whole hurricane experience before you were evacuated?
Before, yeah. Like I said, it made me see people where I did not see them before. It made me to create new friendship, relationship with people. And I'm for maybe also realize the reality of life. Because there was just one house, so if you're walking by a basketball court, it's on the right. The house is so beautiful. I admired the house and I was like, wow, maybe I'll get something like this. And just in less than 24 hours, you went through that place again and the house was gone. Everything was gone. So it makes me understand this coating of something outside beautiful actually may not actually be standard. There were other structures there that were just not beautiful and they stood, I'm telling you the truth. But this house was very beautiful. My housemates can attest to it. Very beautiful. You can't pass by the house and not look at it again. And the house just went. Right, there were some other structures that were not solid to you, but they stood. So I learned something.
Rosas, would you describe your evacuation experience?
Is it the process of evacuation or the journey itself?
The process of evacuation till you got out of the island.
Okay. I mean, we just got several news that we are going to be evacuated by the school, and sometimes they call a meeting, an emergency meeting, a roll call and all of that. So we had to be preparing. And in a way, I felt that I was responsible to communicate with my landlord that I was leaving. I wanted to, I desired to, but I just could not. So in a way, I just saw the reality that these people, and they have to just leave them, you know. And I saw my neighbor saying bye, so you know. And there was nothing I could do, but I had to just leave. It was good. I mean, because we had an option. Those that are there, they don't have that kind of alternative, except they have their national, maybe some other places where they are also established. But the majority of them, all they have is Dominica.
Would you describe your evacuation experience from Dominica to St. Vincent?
Yeah, I will say starting from when we eventually boarded the boat or the ferry, you know, I was feeling very much okay until after some minutes I just had this kind of general discomfort, you know, and I had to stand up, and at the point I was really, you know, sweating because I think we are at the deck, so there was serious heat and so discomfort. I saw people already around me, behaving funny. Some was already vomiting. And I met a very close brother of mine who was seriously manifesting. And, I myself, I was really affected, but not to the point of throwing up. It was a very displeasurable, or let me say unpleasant experience. But then, eventually we got to St. Lucia, which was more like a stopover before we continued to St. Vincent. And we are going to spend some days in St. Lucia. I saw a very great contrast. Number one, the abundance. Those that welcomed us, they were very loving and very hospitable. The abundance in the house, of which just some hours ago, I was managing food, managing water. Not just that, I will not get cold water in Dominica. Now I'm not just getting cold water, but I'm getting naturally prepared juice. I just looked at it as what a contrast in life. That change is the only constant. What may seem looking permanent because of the pain, actually, in some hours, things can turn the other way around. And I felt a very great, inspiration. I felt seriously inspired by all of that. Spending some days there, it was wonderful. There was some experience. Went out, saw the various places in St. Lucia, then coming to St. Vincent. I had already prepared myself, taking some drugs, some anti-emetics, and that I mustn't try. And it was a fairer experience, and St. Vincent, here we have, it's getting better. I just want to be God grateful because he allowed me to have that experience. And in fact, one thing I remember doing all that period was that, I said I want to be a doctor, I said I was going to be a doctor, and doctor beyond borders, when they ask you to go on mission to a particular place, maybe Sudan, as you are planning to go, or maybe Somalia, as she may even go very soon, what will you do? You have to go to the life of those who live there. So I see myself being prepared for the future.
I'd like to share with us how this Hurricane Maria affected your life, your future decisions, and how the rest of your life.
I think from what I said, I noticed that things happen to like space of the future. So I feel this has been a infrastructure. I might not face hurricane category 5 again in life, but that's kind of been too strong to prepare for so long.
Thank you.
Okay. So, for me, the positive side, I see that it has affected my perspective again towards life, towards material things, and towards human behavior.
So how do you perceive it?
How I perceive it. Yeah, I perceive these things as transient. They can, in a moment, go away, but I should build myself on qualities that will last, and my work will go also. So that's my perspective. It's making me a better doctor.
Thank you very much. How do you perceive? You said it has affected you positively and all that, but can you share, enlighten us some more about it?
It still goes back to just what you said. There was something we said some few weeks ago, and that was self-development. If you're self-developed, it's easy for you to get whatsoever you lost again. Because some people actually lost a lot then. But if they were not self-developed, it will actually be difficult for them to get those things again. So it's actually trained me and it's making me to understand the part of self-development. So in case of life, I lose something, if I actually look at it myself through my own self-work, I have the opportunity and chance to get it.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing with us your experience. God bless you all.